Welcome back, it's Nine, and today we are going to talk about this highly discussed Kojima slash BlueBox Game Studios slash Silent Hill. There's a lot going on around this. At first, I wasn't a believer, but I'm going to share all this information with you guys, and I have a feeling you'll be a believer after the end of this video. Now, let's start off with Kojima's past. If you guys remember years ago when Hideo Kojima was first teasing Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, he made up a fake studio called Moby Dick Studios, and for months played the role of a fake developer named Joachim Mogren, announcing a game called The Phantom Pain, which of course ended up being Metal Gear Solid 5. Kojima did the same thing with the fake PT, ultimately being a playable teaser for the canceled Silent Hills. So is it possible that they're doing this again with BlueBox Game Studios and Abandon? Now, BlueBox Game Studios revealed Abandon on April 7th, 2021. And this article appeared on the PlayStation blog, revealing a teaser for an upcoming first-person survival horror PS5 exclusive called Abandoned. The post was by Hassan Kahraman, the game director at BlueBox Game Studios. A couple months later, BlueBox Game Studios revealed that Abandoned would get its own PS5 app, which would let players run the game's trailers in real time on the PS5. Now, this is super specific, and no game ever, and especially not even first-party PlayStation games, have ever done this. So the app was first announced for release on June 20th, but then was tweeted to be coming out on June 22nd, which makes sense because Tuesdays we get releases. Then BlueBox Game Studios tweeted out, "Guess the name, Abandoned equals first letter S, last letter L, reveal closing in." And then after that, they tried to walk it back by saying, "We wanted to set things straight. We have no relations with Konami. Silent Hill is owned by Konami. We do not have any relations with Hideo Kojima. It was never our intention to tease the name as Silent Hill. We sincerely apologize for this." And then he goes on in one tweet, they refer to Abandon in quotes, implying once again that it isn't the real name of the game. And they do confirm in yet another tweet that Abandon is a code name for development. And in another, they claim that the April teaser was just an announcement of development and that the game itself has never been shown, which creates some questions around what those screenshots and video in the PlayStation blog posts were then. Was that just showing off an engine? Now, there's another peculiar thing. The BlueBox Game Studio uses the exact font as the PlayStation Studios logo. Blue is the PlayStation color. They come in a blue box as for the games. The beginning of the PlayStation Studios splash screen flashes blue. There's so much here. And why studios when we're talking about a small developer? So there's also the fact that BlueBox Game Studios only seems to have a single employee, Hassan Kahraman, who coincidentally or not shares his initials with Hideo Kojima. And also on top of that, if you translate Hideo in Japanese to Turkish, you get Kahraman. I know. And despite saying that, they've worked as a support studio for years. You won't find any record of the games they've supposedly assisted with in the past or other developers talking about working on Abandoned. There's so much mystery here, and it gets even crazier. So the only previous game connected with BlueBox is a Steam early access title called The Haunting Bloodwater Curse, a game that is inspired by Fatal Frame, a classic Japanese horror franchise. And that game has since been pushed to Create Q Interactive, another company with almost no online footprint at all. BlueBox Game Studios had a game called The Whisperer for Android, which now can't be found. It has a black handprint as its icon, very similar to what you would find on Death Stranding. The game only had 5 total downloads ever. They also have another game titled Tales of the Six Swords Early Access for Android, which also now can't be found and has only ever had 5 downloads as well. Now we're going to go a step even further than this. Hassan Kahraman does have an Apple App Store profile with a bunch of low-quality asset flip games under his belt. The only app that's not a game is called GoFit XL, which sits under the health and fitness category. The description of this app says at one point, personal training, PT programs. Yep, you guessed it. You're getting where this is going now. So furthermore, BlueBox Game Studios website is a bare bones affair. So basically there's nothing on this website. You can't apply to jobs. There's nothing. There's literally nothing. And that could be because they haven't launched their trailer yet. But, I mean, we're going to continue on this crazy ride. So, the BlueBox Game Studios Twitter account is at BB Game Studio, which curiously is the acronym for Kojima's Death Stranding baby, BB, if you guys have played it before. Supposedly based in the Netherlands, BlueBox Game Studios appears to have been founded in 2015, exactly 1 year after the release of PT, and right around the time Kojima was going to leave Konami. And on top of that, a lot of these tweets that are coming from at BlueBox or at BB Game Studios are at very odd times for Netherlands, but they match up pretty well for Tokyo time. So that's another thing that's got people wondering. Now, BlueBox Game Studios only has one developer, one known developer, Hassan Kahraman. And he has a bare-bones LinkedIn profile with almost no connections and no further information other than purporting that he's been at the company since April 2014. Huh. I know. It's weird. How do you get this kind of deal with PlayStation and literally no connections, no background, nothing, right? So the BlueBox Game Studio YouTube account, formed on January 20th, 2015, has 0 videos, and the profile header background features an image of hills with some low-lying clouds and fog. And if you know anything about Silent Hill, that is a setting for Silent Hill, obviously. That does not surprise anyone if you know Silent Hill. Now, also note that I know we're talking about them denying their affiliation and everything, but denying their, association or affiliation with them is not necessarily lying, because it could just be a fake studio. BlueBox could not exist, so technically it wouldn't be a lie. And the last, and probably one of the bigger things as well, is that the teaser for Death Stranding director's cut from Summer Game Fest shows Sam Bridges wearing a blue suit getting into a box and throwing the camera a smirk. At the time, it seemed like kind of like paying homage to Metal Gear Solid and it being fragile because it's going into other people's hands and treated with respect. Or it could be a reference to Blue Box Games, the name of the studio, right? He's wearing a blue suit and a box. And the last reference that people saw, or the last secret nugget here, is that Sam has a flag on his back, and it is the Netherlands flag, which is allegedly where Blue Box Game Studios is supposed to be based. So this all comes together, and there's just so much evidence that this could be something else, that Blue Box Games is not who they claim to be. And at the first time I heard this, and the first time people were bringing it up to me, I was like, oh, there's no way this means anything. This can't possibly mean anything. But the further I dove into this rabbit hole, you guys were tagging me and stuff, and I was like, whoa, there is so much more to this than I thought. Now, we also know there's a heavy rumor and evidence that, I think it was VGC that came out that said that they are licensing out their IP, that being Silent Hill, Metal Gear Solid, Castlevania. And if those things are true, it really does fall in line here. And we know Silent Hill is allegedly being worked on by 2 different studios, one of them being a prominent Japanese developer, which is none other than PlayStation Studios or Blue Box Games or Kojima. I don't know. All those are Japanese as far as we have speculated. Obviously, Blue Box is the one thing that if it really is based in Netherlands, then it raises that question where it's obviously not going to be Japanese. But based on what we see here, that is very unlikely. Again, heavy theory. There is no real facts here that this is what's happening, but it's got a lot of people talking. It's got me thinking. It really has me believing that this could be something more than meets the eye. But that's all I have for you guys in today's video. I would love to hear your opinions. After hearing all this information, do you think that there is more to this than it just being Blue Box Games creating Abandon or whatever they're going to call it afterwards? Regardless, we are going to find out on June 22nd. As always, if you have not subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to get notified about all my upcoming videos, and hit the like button. It helps the channel a ton. You can follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Links will be in the description. And share this video with a friend. I will talk to you all on the next one. Take care.